buffalo sauce. Now at your local A&W.
You need a roof. We need your house. American Metal Roofs is currently looking for high visibility homes that we can feature in our ads. If your home qualifies, you'll earn a deep discount. Call 844 Metal Roofs today.
AmericanMetalRoofs.com.
Long live the fearless, and long live the trucks with load leveling suspension to shoulder the weight. You connect with an 8.4-inch touchscreen and the superior ride and handling to help you go above and beyond. Get a great deal on America's longest-lasting pickups during the Ram Labor Day sales event.
Or well-qualified returning lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2017 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $314 a month.
Simpsons are on the move. Catch them every weeknight at 11 tonight.
The third annual Drive to 200 is on, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos. This month, we're on the road to selling 200 vehicles, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get there. To help us reach our goal, we're going to give you a minimum of $3,000 for your drivable trade. And right now, you can drive off in a new Equinox for as little as $179 a month. Or get a new Traverse for just $172 a month. The Drive to 200 is on, and we're making crazy deals to hit our goal. It's a great time to buy at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Greater Lansing, Michigan is the winning choice for your next athletic tournament or event. From art court to shooting sports, soccer, baseball, and bowling, we've got facilities available near team-friendly dining and lodging options. Having a Big Ten school in our backyard gives our community a constant buzz of youthful enthusiasm and provides a host of top-notch sports venues available to visiting groups as well. The GLSA is excited to be a part of your team. Contact us today.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, a trusted friend with 103 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you, as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf.
Announced Brian Allen and senior offensive lineman, and Chris Fry, senior linebacker. And usually we've taken 3. The whole idea is, and we took 2 this year because the voting was there was so much clarity as to who were the 2 guys, and the rest of it was all sort of shaken up. So really felt like rather than re-vote and try and do those type of things, the fair thing to do was allow everybody to lead from that leadership group.
It's not really going to change who we are as people. Coach Bowman came up to me and said, being voted captain doesn't mean you have to be something. You were voted a captain because of who you are. So, we just got to continue being ourselves and leading this team, and it's going to take us a long way this season.
Being a captain is a great honor. There's been a lot of guys before me who have really, set a great example for me, to be as a leader, and just looking forward to helping this team, be pretty good this year. So, go green.
Welcome back to Press Pass. Darian Harris, you know a lot about leading a team and leading it very well. Did the Spartans get it right by electing Brian Allen, Chris Fry, and were you as surprised as I was that maybe there wasn't a 3rd player named?
Yeah, I think they got it absolutely right with those 2 guys. It was a little surprised to not see a 3rd player named. Obviously, so many years of starting with 4 and then going to 3, but
Gerald Holmes had been in Chicago. He'd done a great job of leadership during the summer.
Exactly, and that's usually a representation of who'll be the captains. Not always the case who goes to Big Ten Media Day, but I felt like a guy like Gerald Holmes had done such a great job in the offseason of positioning himself to be one of the leaders on this football team. But Coach D said, the voting for the 3rd guy just wasn't as clear as needed to be, and I think they got two great guys to lead the football team as captains.
Quickly, why will Brian Allen and Chris Fry be great Spartan captains?
Well, they've been there. First, they both played as true freshmen. They've been there through the great times and through the bad times, which I think helps this team out a lot. And like I said, they've seen the ups and downs. They know what it takes. They've seen the ins and outs. Brian has, obviously has Jack as somebody to look up to as an example of somebody that was a captain. Chris has seen the past 2 years prior to him a linebacker be captain, so he's been close to that as well. And I think that 2 are going to do a phenomenal job.
Al Martin, let's take a look at the Eagles Council, 12 representatives, and from this pool, 2 of these players each game will come out for the coin toss and represent along with Brian Allen and Chris Fry. What stands out to you about the Spartan Dog Dozen?
Well, I tell you what, first off, when you look at that list,
what really jumps out to me is that 9 of 12 of those individuals you're seeing right now are either sophomores or juniors. This is a very young team that's been well documented coming into the 2017 season. And a lot of guys, a lot of young pups are going to have to step up and adjust to new roles for this team. But they're so young. However, much like Darian just pointed out, it was a bit surprising that Gerald Holmes was not a part of the captainship, the 3 captains. And the reason why I say this is because, I mean, you guys have talked to, Gerald Holmes. Yeah. And Gerald Holmes, when you talk to him, he's a guy who exudes confidence and leadership. Yeah. And I think with him being a part of this leadership council as another senior, one of the 3 seniors, I think that's going to pay off for big dividends for this team. Guys like Andrew Dow, also junior safety Kari Willis, those are also 2 other individuals that when I've talked to in media day, I mean, they just come off like, hey, we're going to take over this team. This is going to be our team, and we're going to make sure they're on the right track.
Tom Crawford, Michigan and Michigan State share something in common besides October 17, 2015, a very important day in history. They also share the fact that they might be 2 of the youngest teams in the country. Michigan State with 53 freshmen, when you count the redshirt freshman guys who have never been on the field before. Michigan's got the same thing going.
Well, yeah, and Jim Harbaugh expects freshmen to play. He said that. He played 16 last year. This year, 36 of the top 68 are first and second year players. So all these teams are young. If you're good, you're going to play right out of the bat.
Taking a look at Michigan State's schedule for 2017. Yes, they have to go to Ann Arbor. They have to go to Columbus. They also have road games with Minnesota, Northwestern. Those won't be easy. Right. Defending Big Ten champion Penn State comes in. But can you say that the key to this season and making a bowl game might be those back-to-back home games late next month with Notre Dame and Iowa?
No question, Jack. Notre Dame and Iowa back-to-back, assuming they're going to beat the 2 MAC teams, which I think they will. Then they got an off day, kind of weird. They'll get a split there, I'm thinking. I think they're going to lose to Notre Dame but beat Iowa, set them up in the Big Ten, and then the remaining of the season they're going to win, well, a total of 6 games. So they'll go 3-1 and then go 3-5 down the stretch.
Darian, how strange would it be? Michigan State wins all 4 of these home games and comes into the Michigan game early October with a better record than the Wolverines once they lose to Florida.
It would be strange and it'd be possible. And the thing about that, as we've been talking about, is that'd be 4 games of confidence going into a Michigan. And Tom knows you can throw the records out in that game. It can go either way, and it's shown that in history.
I ain't gonna argue with that.
Now, more likely to win for Michigan State? Are they more likely to beat Notre Dame or beat Iowa in the Big Ten opener?
I tell you what, Iowa. I'm going with Iowa.
More likely to beat Iowa. They get Notre Dame in that night game. Strange things happen at Spartan Stadium under the lights. We'll be right back with the big picture up next.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
It was a Saturday of smiles for Michigan State at Michigan Stadium. A sea of white amid maize and blue. A team that laid it all on the line with ferocious hits and a steady hand. For 59 minutes and 50 seconds, then all hell broke loose. Cherish the memories of last October 17th and one of the greatest finishes in college football history. The Perfect 10 by Jack Ebling and Joe Rexrode. Go to 10perfectseconds.com before time runs out.
At Fabiano's Pizzeria, we're more than great pizza. We're family. We're friends. We're a team. Dough and sauce made from scratch. We're serious about quality. And we're honored to serve you. Fabiano's Pizzeria, Westphalia. Just down the road.
Call Capital Bankruptcy, 853-1300, or go to capitalbankruptcy.net.
A few years ago, we had Streamline come out and do our vinyl siding and insulation. Couldn't be any happier with the job they did. Now we're having them do our roof. Priced everything out, and they're highly competitive. It was actually not much more than to do it myself. It's well worth my time. I definitely recommend it.
When you streamline, there's no compromises. Streamline Enterprises.
It looks like these people found out about Shaheen's 47-hour sale to cap off their 47th anniversary sale. Anniversary discounts on top of manufacturer rebates give you savings on top of savings. And now they've added 0% financing for 72 months on most 2017 models. That's 6 years of no interest. You do the math. All during the 47-hour sale from Lansing's #1 Chevy dealer, Shaheen Chevrolet.
We always guarantee the lowest price on any new Chevrolet, or it's free.
You won't get that anywhere else.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago. 2 weeks ago, Doug Warren and I took a Dean luxury cruiser to Chicago, joined 27 pro football greats, more than 100 supporters of the Shinsky Orphanage in Matamoros, Mexico. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone on the Gulf Coast, especially those near Corpus Christi and Houston, dealing with the horrific effects of Hurricane Harvey. There you see just some of the carnage. Al Martin, when you consider that more than 1,000 911 calls went unanswered, that Houston will probably have as much rain in 1 week as it normally has in a year, what can we do about that here 10 states away, 1,300 miles away?
Well, first off, we pray. That's number one. And thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected down south right now. And, you know, I have 2 fraternity brothers who are going through that. They live in the Houston area and had to evacuate 3 days ago. But, you know, you look at what's happening out there, and again, when you see those images, you know, it can't help but pull on the emotional heartstrings, right? There are multiple ways, though. I mean, the American Red Cross right now is providing over 130,000 meals per day for those affected down there. You can send funds that way. You know, you donate to food banks, and you know, you look at the supplies out there. They're just trying to get there, but it's so tough because the weather conditions are so bad.
Transportation. It's
hard to mobilize.
Yeah.
Very hard to mobilize down there. But there are multiple ways when you're sitting on your couch and you are watching those images. Get involved financially. If you can wake up and get that coffee in the morning, you can definitely use those funds to help out those who are suffering.
Tom Crawford, you worked as a sports writer in that part of Texas more than 3 decades ago. Yeah. When you consider that Rice University, the Owls, went to Sydney, Australia, and played Stanford yesterday, lost 62-7, but how could they possibly have concentrated on anything on the football field knowing what's going on back home?
I can't imagine the distraction, Jack. I mean, Rice University is picturesque, 300-acre campus, southwest of downtown area, but it's just enveloped with concrete inside the 610 loop, and there's nowhere for water to go. It's all bayous, and so they had to be thinking about their people, but their campus people back there in Houston, and the distraction was obviously when I watched the game last night. I watched for a little bit of it, Jack. They were not dialed in at all, and they're playing a very good Stanford team, obviously one of the top teams in college football this year. Did not surprise me they got blown out.
Darian, could you have imagined going to the other side of a world and try to play a football game when you know what's happening back home?
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's so many times you see just devastation and unfortunate situations that happen to sports teams, you know, right prior to going to playing in a game. And sometimes it's they're able to mobilize and come together and overcome it. I think of Michigan basketball last year with what happened with the airplane. But that was a situation that affected them personally. Now, this is a situation that's affecting everybody else around them, everybody else that people that play for Rice University or in that football organization know. So it had to be on their mind during that game, even though, you know, like Tom said, they were playing against a great Stanford team. You know, you would have expected a school like Rice with so much rich tradition and history to put up, you know, more of a fight than they did. But by no means could we expect that based on what's happening right now within their state and city.
We've had a few college football games, going to get a bunch of them this week, including Ohio State at Indiana on Thursday night. I want to take a quick look at the Week 1 schedule for Big Ten schools. Darian, other than Michigan, Florida, and AT&T Stadium, which of these games is most appealing or most intriguing to you?
Well, I'm looking at two. The first one I'm looking at is that Ohio State-Indiana game. You know, it's an in-conference game, obviously. Kevin Wilson is the talk of the town. He's going to be the talk of that game, playing against his former team. Saw some quotes from him today saying obviously he still has love for and still loves for the guys that had that, players he recruited. Now he has to go against them. So I think that'll be a huge game, especially for probably the Big Ten favorite in Ohio State. The other game I'm looking at is Maryland, Texas. I think that could be a huge game for the Big Ten if Maryland's able to pull that off. You know, Texas has had a few down years, obviously, but it's still Texas.
Just
they
go
still
out
have
and
the
compete.
tradition.
If they competed down in that's all it would take.
And it would be big for DJ Durkin to get that win as well.
We've got some big games in September, too, when you think about Oklahoma at Ohio State. You've got Wisconsin at BYU, and then Notre Dame coming to East Lansing for the night game. All three of those games are very important to those teams. We'll be right back talking about Michigan football coming up on Press Pass.
After reviewing the play, you should be driving a Honda from Capital Honda. During the Honda Celebration Sales Event, catch 2017 Honda Accord LX, 0 down, $219 a month. Score 2017 Honda Civic LX, $169 a month. Rush to Capital Honda today.
Our big Labor Day sale is on now at Furniture Row. Take advantage of great Labor Day savings throughout the store. Save up to 50% on outdoor living. Score a free dining chair with purchase of any 5-piece dining set over $5.99. It's easy to bring home the looks you love for every room with no interest financing until 2023. Save big this Labor Day, only at Furniture Row, home of Denver Mattress, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer.
Coach's All-American Pub and Grill. What makes us All-American? Enjoying great food with ice-cold beverages and friendly service. Watching the game on one of our 21 large-screen TVs. With a variety of fun indoor and outdoor entertainment every night of the week. Connecting with friends, dining with family, or catching the game, you'll always have a great time. Coach's All-American Pub and Grill. Great food, fun, and friends.
You work hard for your money and you deserve to keep it. Why pay $199 to jumpstart your insurance for 7 days when you can start a 6-month policy for less? 30 days with Stop Point Insurance costs less than 7 days with them. Everyone approved, no matter your driving history. Guaranteed. Call today, save today.
Restoring looks and confidence for cancer patients. Wednesday at 10.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
Worried about being frantically late to class this semester? Don't be that person. Philosophy Peddler is the place to service your bike, because who needs to be late to class? Philosophy Peddler, visit today.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure, because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango. And Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Out of the Blue segment, talking Michigan football. Tom Crawford, I know you've been waiting for this, and Chris Evans. You've been bullish on Chris Evans all year long. What makes you think that he can be the Wolverines' best running back since Mike Hart?
Well, physically, when you look at him from last spring to right now, he's got some guns on him. He's put on 8 pounds of real rock-solid muscle. He's a speed back, Jack. I mean, Michigan has not had a home run hitter at running back in a long, long time, and he's that kind of guy. And yet he's going to get help from Karan Higdon, Ty Isaac, so it's not all on him. In other words, he doesn't have to carry the ball 25, 30 times, but he can carry it about 18 times, and I think that's going to keep him fresh. He's going to have a great year, plus he's a good pass protector.
Indianapolis Ben Davis High School.
Oh, yeah.
He was not as high profile as a lot of the Michigan running backs who've come in and been duds.
Like Ty Isaac, and then others in the past. And, but I really think...
What happened to Kareem Walker?
He's still, you know, he's running with the fours right now.
But
so,
he was Mr. Running Backs, right?
Well,
he was the guy.
I understand, Jack, but his career is still young at Michigan. So give him the whole time to see if he develops.
Chris Evans, what do you know about him, Darian? A guy who other Big Ten teams should all be scared of?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to point to exactly what Tom said. He looked like he put on some great weight in the offseason, and I, watched him last year, enjoyed what I saw from him, but just seemed a little bit too small to be a first and second down back, was a third down back, and obviously he didn't have to be that last year, but now that he's put on the weight, he's going to be the feature guy, he's going to be number one out there, so it means you have to run on first and second down, you have to run the dives and the draws inside and be able to take that type of punishment and keep on going. I think that if you can limit him to 18 to 20 carries a game and don't run him into the ground, he can be a really valuable asset to this team.
They're going to need someone early on, Al, when you think that they've had so many losses from the starting offense. And you've got young receivers, so a guy like Chris Evans could do a lot early in the season.
Oh, he certainly can. I tell you what, he's an impressive back, and they're going to need him to have a great year if they want to, I guess, get to that 11-1 mark that Tom Crawford predicts.
You heard it.
That's
here,
pretty
baby.
gutsy, man. 11-1. Yeah. I don't see 11-1. I tell you that. But
what do you see? 8-4.
You know what?
He's got to win in the Big Ten championship game too, and then going on to play in the college football playoff.
And the Rose Bowl losing to USC.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You've got this all planned.
I'm not a total homer. I don't have to win it at all. That's next year.
Well, I tell you what, I don't see 11 wins. I'm going to let my cat out the bag right now. I'm going to give my prediction. I believe 9-3.
That's what I said.
Sounds familiar.
Very intelligent prediction.
Yeah, 9-3 for the year. I mean, there's so much turnover when you talk about this U of M team. I mean, what to replace them with 16.
So much talent.
Here we go.
And nobody else has any.
Right.
Only U of M has talent.
You'll see how much.
And a Rose Bowl loss to USC. Where have we seen that before, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see. I'll give you 8 years that it happened.
Yeah.
Let's get the season started.
You can count them, right, Jeff?
Darian, a lot of people thought that Wilton Speight might lose his job. The way he played against Ohio State, Florida State, pretty unimpressive in the spring game. But he's back, and now he could start 30 more games for the Wolverines.
And I think he should. I mean, the thing that I look at with football teams, and I said it about Michigan State, was you need to declare a starting quarterback. Quarterback controversies, they happen. I understand the need for it. But if you had a guy that started games and played well, keep him there so your team knows who to look at. Thomas said that this Michigan defense reminds him of the Lamar Woodley defenses of the past, and I think that can help them out. And we had the same situation in 2013 when our defense was so good that it didn't matter that we had a quarterback controversy. We were kind of able to hide that. But that's a problem for football teams if you don't know who to look at as your leader. And that's why I love it when a coach just comes out and says, this is going to be our guy. We're going to ride with him unless something egregious happens. Then you have some turnover. But going into fall camp, going into the first game, it's extremely important if the team knows who to look at as the number one guy at quarterback.
So much like Mark D'Antonio did with Brian Lewerke,
exactly,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Declaring that early, and they know who to look to.
And Wilton Speight, unlike Chris Evans, has lost weight. He's lost 23 pounds, and so he's going to be more, nimble and more mobile in the pocket when that pressure comes.
More susceptible to injury, right? Al, when you think about the Michigan defense, and Tom's talking about all of these great athletes and all the speed, I thought the Michigan defense a year ago was terrific.
Yeah, it was. But the thing, going back to, again, Michigan having to replace 16 to 17 starters.
Right.
That's a lot.
That's exactly where I was going. We talk about all the attrition and the fact that Michigan defense was as good as any in the country for the first 9 games.
Have you taken a look at that front four?
And how many games did that team lose with that defense?
Yeah,
that would be 3, ladies and gentlemen.
3 last year, right.
3 games, the same number they lost the year before when they finished, once again, sticking with the theme, the number 3, third in the Big Ten East. Is this the year that Tom gets his wish and they finish higher than 3rd in the Big Ten East?
I don't know about that. I still believe that Ohio State right now, that's the team to look at. I mean, I love Ohio State. You look at everybody
Where
returning.
are they playing on November 25th? In Ann Arbor.
I hear you, and I get it.
Where did they play in 2015? Where did they play in 2013? Where did they play in 2009? Where did they play in 2007? Where did they play?
It doesn't matter where it's played, actually.
Right. Counting on Michigan to beat Columbus, you can't say it can't happen. It has happened once in the last 13 years, ladies and gentlemen. So it's certainly a possibility it can happen again. Lightning can strike twice in the same place. We'll be right back. Our Law of the Jungle segment, Talk Detroit Lions, up next.
The 3rd annual Drive to 200 is on, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos. This month, we're on the road to selling 200 vehicles, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get there. To help us reach our goal, we're going to give you a minimum of $3,000 for your drivable trade. And right now, you can drive off in a new Equinox for as little as $179 a month, or get into a new Silverado for just $195 a month. The Drive to 200 is on, and we're making crazy deals to hit our goal. It's a great time to buy at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Advanced technology and forecasting. Storm Shield weather. Only on Fox 47 News.
H2O Hydroponics is now your CO2 refill station.
We offer great CO2 refill prices. 20 pound $10, 35 pound $15, and 50 pounds $20.
Brand new aluminum tanks are now in stock.
If you're going to grow, go H2O.
It looks like these people found out about Shaheen's 47-hour sale to cap off their 47th anniversary sale. Anniversary discounts on top of manufacturer rebates give you savings on top of savings. And now they've added 0% financing for 72 months on most 2017 models. That's 6 years of no interest. You do the math. All during the 47-hour sale from Lansing's #1 Chevy dealer, Shaheen Chevrolet.
We always guarantee the lowest price on any new Chevrolet, or it's free.
You won't get that anywhere else. Money can't buy friends, but when you could buy a delicious foot-long steak and cheese, rotisserie-style chicken, or Subway Club for only $5.99 every day, who needs friends anyway? Subway, so much sandwich.
Worried about being frantically late to class this semester? Don't be that person. Philosophy Peddler is the place to service your bike, because who needs to be late to class? Philosophy Peddler, visit today.
H2O Hydroponics is now your CO2 refill station.
We offer great CO2 refill prices. 20 pound $10, 35 pound $15, and 50 pounds $20.
Brand new aluminum tanks are now in stock.
If you're going to grow, go H2O.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment. Brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. We're going to talk a little Detroit Lions football, ladies and gentlemen. And when you think that the Lions fell behind Tom Brady and the Patriots 24-0 before the end of the first quarter. Then they rallied. They scored 28 straight points. They wound up losing on a field goal with 2 seconds to go. Darian, what does that tell us in week 3 of the preseason?
It's tough because it's preseason. So on the one hand, you know, if the Lions finished, 4-0, 5-0 in the preseason, you would have to say it's just preseason. If they finish 0-5, you'd say it's just preseason. Right. They fall down by 24 points, you say it's just preseason. Right. And they come back, you want to say it's just preseason. I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic and say at least it shows this team has some fight. They have some fight in them. They fell down 24 to the best team in the league. They came back, albeit, probably with their 3rd string, 4th string at the end of the game just because it's preseason. But it shows some fight, it shows some vigor, and it's hopefully something that they can build in going into the final preseason game and then into the regular season.
You took over the rest of the show when I left Friday for Ford Field, and you get there and boom, it's 13-0 before the Lions ran their 2nd offensive play. They were already trailing. They gave up an opening touchdown, then they throw a pass and there's a fumble, and then they come back and the Patriots score again. But when you think about what the Lions did to come back, Tom Crawford with Jake Rudock says an awful lot that he is progressing as an NFL quarterback. And now we're hearing that Jake Rudock is the subject of some trade inquiries. Teams are actually calling the Lions. There are a lot of quarterback desperate teams. And they say, hey, you're not going to use a Rudock. Okay?
No, you keep Rudock. I mean, you got to have a good back. You're one play away from using a guy. So definitely, Jake Rudock, he's earned a spot on that team, well deserved, and you keep him because he might be playing any second.
What if you could get a pass rusher, a guy who could start for you in exchange for a guy who may never play for you, Al, don't you have to look at that trade?
You have to. You have to evaluate that. At least consider it. I understand what you're saying, Tom. I think Jake Rudock is a solid backup, though. And really quickly, though, I mean, Darian, you talked about it being preseason, right? The preseason. Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
My stomach turned.
Well,
when I
you know
saw
why?
that
Because that's a chemistry thing with Tom Brady. That's his go-to guy.
Yeah.
You know, but
It
the
is.
Patriots are one team that can survive those kind of injuries, like Gronk and stuff like that. But
There are
an
way too many
ACL and
preseason.
an exhibition game. Ugh.
There are way too many preseason games. 4 preseason games in the
can't even
NFL.
look at that
It's ridiculous. I mean, you look at Julian Edelman. This is a guy. When he's played, 84-19 with the Patriots. Without Julian Edelman, they're 15-10.
They don't win the Super Bowl last year without that unbelievable catch. I still don't know how he came
Right,
out.
exactly.
Right.
So you
That's
hate
a good
to see
point.
stuff like that in the preseason. I've always looked at it and said, okay, 1 or 2, not 4. 4 preseason games to me is way too much because then you have injuries like this.
And this is a non-contact injury. This could have happened in practice.
Yeah.
We see this all the time, Darian. Is it just that in football, you're always susceptible to this kind of
You are always susceptible to injuries. It happens, far too often. Like you said, it could happen in practice. Tony Lippett lost the season on a non-contact torn Achilles in practice.
Right.
But this is why they've now changed the rules to where they're waiting until after the 4th preseason game for cut day, just because they want to have, as kind of, as a former player, as kind of morbid as it sounds, they want to have enough camp bodies so that they don't have to play their starters and rotation guys in too many preseason games, because 4 is definitely a lot when you look at it. Camp is a long grind going through that. College, there are none. We didn't have preseason games in college. The only thing that's a little bit different, obviously, is in the NFL, we're not tackling to the ground in practice, so you don't get contact, full to the ground into the preseason games, whereas in college you have scrimmages and things like that. But 4 preseason games is definitely a lot, especially when you see starters go down, which is why, you look at a team like the Panthers. I mean, Cam Newton's got, 10 plays maybe this entire preseason?
Yeah.
That's going to be it for him. He's done. That there is no more.
And Brady played an entire half. Of course, the Lions didn't get close enough to him to pose any
There's
threat.
no pressure on him. I mean, you talk about a guy who was not going to get hurt. It was Tom Brady because no one was in 10 feet of him. I mean, that defense, I got to tell you guys, that defense, I watched the first half, gave up on it. Was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an indicator to me that this is not a division championship.
Well, you know who else can't stop the Patriots? 31 teams in the National Football League.
I understand.
I wouldn't say
but
that
you
the-
just described that
Yeah,
first
season's
half, and you
over.
were there.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
I mean,
it was ridiculous.
Gotta
Ryan
see
Schilling and I
Tom
were sitting there
Brady
going, what is going on here? What is
Yeah.
it? Al, when you look at the Lions' schedule, you're Jim Caldwell. Would you take 9-7 and a wild card berth right now? Don't even play any games.
For sure. Oh, without a doubt.
I agree with them today. I wouldn't have agreed with them last week, but now I'm agreeing with them.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you look
No
at the
division
schedule.
title. You have to go on the road in the playoffs. You're going to take that anyway.
Yes, I would certainly take that. You got one stretch of back-to-back road games, which comes in a manageable portion in December. I would take that all
Wouldn't
day,
you, Jack? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would. I don't know. Darren, you would too, right?
Yeah, I'd have to take that. From what we saw in that last game, I think I'm going to take it.
Take it and run, man.
People say it might take more than that for Jim Caldwell to keep his job. Might have to do a little bit more, either a division or a playoff win. We'll be right back. We're going to have another Law of the Jungle segment talking about the Detroit Tigers, those fighters. Right back on Press Pass.
Our big Labor Day sale is on now at Furniture Row. Take advantage of great Labor Day savings throughout the store with up to 50% off on outdoor living and no interest until 2023. Don't miss the big Labor Day sale only at Furniture Row.
During our Made to Move 2017 clearance event, you can do endless online research, or you can take advantage of our best offer ever on an XT5. Don't wait. Our 2017 models will be moving fast. You can drive a car, or you can drive a Cadillac.
GM employs and eligible family members with a Cadillac. Get this low-mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 for $269 per month. Visit Suburban Cadillac of Lansing or Jim Winter Cadillac in Jackson.
It's time to rest easy and save big at the Denver Mattress Labor Day sale. Now's your chance to save up to $800 on select Serta iComfort mattresses on an adjustable base. Don't miss the Labor Day sale, only at Denver Mattress.
Simpsons are on the move. Catch them every weeknight at 11 tonight.
Greater Lansing, Michigan is the winning choice for your next athletic tournament or event. From art court to shooting sports, soccer, baseball, and bowling, we've got facilities available near team-friendly dining and lodging options. Having a Big Ten school in our backyard gives our community a constant buzz of youthful enthusiasm and provides a host of top-notch sports venues available to visiting groups as well. The GLSA is excited to be a part of your team. Contact us today.
At Fabiano's Pizzeria, we're more than great pizza. We're family. We're friends. We're a team. Dough and sauce made from scratch. We're serious about quality. And we're honored to serve you. Fabiano's Pizzeria, Westphalia. Just down the road.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment. Again, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road. Chuck and Delita. Your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. There you see a shot of Miguel Cabrera with the first shove. Then he squares off, and he's going at it, trying to get a punch in. Didn't look so good. Couldn't land anything. Yeah, there he is, just about to be flipped. Miggy, I think you're a better hitter in the batter's box than you are in the squared circle or the cage.
Yeah, he airballed it, man.
Airball, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Here you see Miggy, and he's just missed a punch here. And we're just going to put him face down here, because that's where he ended up anyway.
That's exactly what the photo was right there.
Al Martin, when you think that the Tigers have been so lifeless, have shown so little fight for 5 months, what does that Donnybrook last Thursday mean?
Where has that fight been at all year?
Yeah.
You know, you look at a moment like that, and again, I think that moment was a culmination of frustration that has been building up for a long time. And, you know, and you look at this team, you know, with payrolls that are through the roof, like Floyd Mayweather money almost, right? Unmet expectations. You got Miguel Cabrera for 5 more years, $30 million a season. Right. A Justin Verlander contract for 2 more. Now, to JV's credit, I believe that he's had a pretty solid year as it went on. It looked kind of rocky in a few starts here and there, but I thought JV has played pretty solid this year. But looking at that, it's like, this is what the team has really come to. I think that Brad Ausmus, I'm waiting for the headline to flash on my phone that he has been let go as Detroit Tigers manager. This will be the last season that you see Brad Ausmus as the head of this team. But, you know, and you look at a moment like that and saying, oh, where has this been for the Tigers? So it was just really frustrating watching that, but entertaining, I will say that.
Darian, we've seen fights in team sports. Your Cincinnati Bengals, Vontaze Burfict, the one at it, right? Some guys have gone and mixed it up a little bit. Have you ever been so mad in the heat of competition that you were that close to just letting somebody have it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Coach Jim Bowman talks about it all the time. You have to play on the verge of a rage, and I think that, you know, when you're in the fold, literally in the fight, you know, as we call it, in the trenches, in the foxhole, no matter what sport you're playing, you know, tempers flare, tempers rise, things like that happen. And you know, we had a whole segment about this when you on the drive, Doug and I did when you left for Ford Field. Fights in sports happen. It's not a big deal. Fights in practice happen. Fights in I mean, you know how close Donovan and I are. We almost fought on Thanksgiving one year in practice. I mean, it just happens in practice. But sometimes it's the best thing that could happen to a team. Unfortunately, they're not in the pennant race. If they were, this would be something that would have brought the team together and been a positive. But I think, like Al said, it was a culmination of a lot of frustration. But at least we saw that they have some fight in them. Most of them, at least. The eye in the sky doesn't lie. A couple guys outside the pile. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see the guys that are outside the pile. But it's the same thing also. You really see who's with you. Who is going to be in the foxhole with me? Who's going to fight with me? Literally, who's going to fight with me? And who's going to stand outside and watch?
Tom, you and I were doing the drive with Jack when all this thing was going on.
It was distracting. I wanted to say,
the hell of a
show.
How'd you guys do the show? Oh, my goodness.
I just kept saying,
Tom. I'm behind the screen. He's got bird's eye view. It's ridiculous.
When you think about James McCann Can you imagine getting conked in the coconut with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and then coming up less than an hour later, hitting a home run?
He could have got killed. Yeah. I mean, that would have hit his temple right now. James McCann, a catcher in baseball is like a Mike linebacker in football. Tough, tough, tough. That's how tough James. I love that guy, and so it did not surprise me, Jack. But I'm gonna tell you what, should get arrested for a beanball like that. That was
scary,
nuts.
right?
Yeah.
Anytime you come that close to somebody's head,
and it was intentional, obviously.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and you think the Yankees have something to play for.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
lose some guys here. It can hurt
Tigers,
them. The Tigers, they
just
don't
get
care.
your licks in, you know. That's all bets are off.
Exactly, and Gary Sanchez got the suspension too for the Yankees. Darian, the commissioner had a long list of suspended guys with this fight, and Miggy gets to 7 games, of course. But that doesn't include Justin Verlander and Victor Martinez, who went at it in the dugout. Apparently, Verlander made some kind of a comment to Victor about why do you have your arms around a Yankee guy afterwards, and they're talking in Spanish. And JV didn't think that was particularly appropriate, and Victor picks up a bat. Nick Castellanos gets in the middle of them. I don't know what that would have turned into.
Yeah, it was an interesting situation, but it was kind of just what we were talking about. I mean, you know, if you're fighting another team, everybody's going to get suspended either. You may as well take your suspensions or whatever's going to come of it and get in the fight. Get in the foxhole. Let me see you as my teammate backing us up as a team and defending us. So I'm with JV on that. I think that he made great points, and, you know, we didn't necessarily see exactly or hear exactly what he said, but, you know, from all accounts, it was saying, hey, you're supposed to be our guy. You're supposed to be on our side, and you butting with the enemy is just not acceptable.
That's a moral code as a teammate. Moral code as a teammate.
Yeah.
If you see your guys out there brawling, you should be out there too. Have my back. Right?
Exactly. There's a lot more fraternizing with the opponent than there ever used to be. You see these guys.
I know.
standing on base all the time, telling jokes,
baseball.
you know, brothers
So
or
laid
something.
back. That's what I don't like about it.
You like the rough and tumble.
Yeah, I want. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Tom likes those bean balls, all those inside pitches, high spikes at second base. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to talk about the week's other fight. Mayweather-McGregor coming up next.
The demons of addiction had taken me hostage.
Needed alcohol or I was going to die.
The drugs and the alcohol was tearing me apart.
Addicts can recover. Addicts do recover. At the Watershed, we believe in recovery. We believe that every addict deserves the opportunity to be healed. We've helped thousands of patients recover from this seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Our team of addiction professionals will address the underlying causes of your addiction while treating you with dignity and respect in a safe and comfortable environment. Our promise is we never impose a financial hardship upon patients. We work with major medical insurance companies and will make treatment affordable. You can do it. Do it today. So there's no reason to wait one more day. The time to call is now. So call the Watershed today.
Restoring looks and confidence for cancer patients. Wednesday at 10.
It was a Saturday of smiles for Michigan State at Michigan Stadium. A sea of white amid maize and blue. A team that laid it all on the line with ferocious hits and a steady hand. For 59 minutes and 50 seconds, then all hell broke loose. Cherish the memories of last October 17th and one of the greatest finishes in college football history. Perfect 10 by Jack Ebling and Joe Rexrode. Go to 10perfectseconds.com before time runs out.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
Worried about being frantically late to class this semester? Don't be that person. Philosophy Peddler is the place to service your bike, because who needs to be late to class? Philosophy Peddler, visit today.
Back to Press Pass, and there you see a great shot from Floyd Mayweather to Conor McGregor. McGregor did pretty well, I think better than most people thought, especially early, although there was a ton of money come in on Conor McGregor to the point that Vegas would have lost his shirts if he had somehow managed to land a lucky punch. But as the fight progressed, he was on the receiving end of most of those blows. Tom Crawford, I know that this was not your moment of greatest interest this weekend.
I was watching Seinfeld reruns last night.
Are you serious, Tom?
Dead serious.
You got to be kidding me. Seinfeld reruns.
Why does everyone else care about this so much, and you couldn't care one bit?
Well, first of all, I'm not a fight fan, but curiosity of these different formats, MMA, boxing, see how one can jump into the other realm and defeat a champion in Mayweather. And, it went 10 rounds. I mean, that kind of surprised me. I mean, when I watched it on SportsCenter, I did not pay to watch it. I think that element of it, and I just, for me, I've never been a boxing fan. I'll just, I got, people, Bob Every and all those guys that love it, and I respect that. When there's a sport that the objective is to give a guy a concussion, it's a disconnect. Call me a Nancy boy. Maybe that's what I am. But I'm not into boxing.
Not your cup of tea.
There you go.
Nancy boy. Al, you wanted to see the fight, and you did see the fight, correct?
I did. I just actually got back from Detroit. My brother, he's balling like that, so he bought the fight. I didn't chip in at all to pay for the fight, so I was went over there. Yeah, very nice brother, right?
So I thought you were Al Bernstein for a minute because you were tweeting about the fight.
I was. You know what?
You had a bold prediction.
You know what? Hey, don't everything you see on social media, take it with a grain of salt sometimes. That was fake news, all right, Jay? I put it out there. I said that Conor McGregor would win the fight. And the reason I did it is because I'm not a big Floyd Mayweather guy. I've never been a big Floyd Mayweather guy. I mean, I won't dive much into that, but Floyd, the cockiness, his track record when it comes to women back in the day, I won't go down that road right now. However, I saw all this on my timeline, and I'm sitting there, all this Floyd Mayweather love, and I'm sitting there saying, I'm getting sick to my stomach. I'm going to just put something out there. And I said Conor McGregor will win the fight. Right. He's going to shock the world. And he ideally did. The dude made over $30 million, more than he's made throughout his entire MMA fighting career. Hey, that's a win in my book. I mean, come on now. He basically talked himself into a $30 million purse. Right. That's amazing.
Well, you got $30 million on the net.
Yeah, I think it'll be $100
million for him.
And Floyd around 300, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Darian, was there a moment in this fight early on where you thought, maybe, just maybe, McGregor's in this to stay and he can catch him?
Yeah, I think that there was a moment pretty early, and why wouldn't you allow yourself to believe that just for a second, just for the shock therapy, the treatment of it? And I'm with Al in the fact that I'm not necessarily a true fan of either one of them. I think that in a situation like this, it's important to separate the boxer from the person. So I have a profound respect for what Floyd does in the ring, and I think that he showed that last night. And I think he showed that the amount of conditioning and in shape you have to be in to be a boxer, because McGregor got tired.
He got winded. He's not used to that.
And this was a 10-round boxing contest, not a 5-round mixed martial arts.
Now, I thought it was interesting afterwards that McGregor said, and I agreed with him when he said he always fights like that. Even in MMA, he has these rough patches where he gets tired in his fights, and then he sees the finish line and comes through, and he was asking to finish the fight.
He was
like the DDS fight.
But he was definitely in danger.
11 years younger.
I asked you this question, Darian, Friday, and you said that if McGregor had won the fight, you would have been more surprised than if Purdue had won the Big Ten football championship, or Michigan State had another play with Jalen Watts-Jackson going down the
field. And he almost did.
We'll be right back with our Culver's Weekly Awards up next.
Every segment.
Here on Press.
The third annual Drive to 200 is on, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos. This month, we're on the road to selling 200 vehicles, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get there. To help us reach our goal, we're going to give you a minimum of $3,000 for your drivable trade. And right now, you can drive off in a new Equinox for as little as $179 a month, or get a new Traverse for just $172 a month. The Drive to 200 is on, and we're making crazy deals to hit our goal. It's a great time to buy at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Greater Lansing, Michigan is the winning choice for your next athletic tournament or event. From art court to shooting sports, soccer, baseball, and bowling, We've got facilities available near team-friendly dining and lodging options. Having a Big Ten school in our backyard gives our community a constant buzz of youthful enthusiasm and provides a host of top-notch sports venues available to visiting groups as well. The GLSA is excited to be a part of your team. Contact us today.
Taking funny to new levels. The Big Bang Theory, 5 nights a week.
Coach's All-American Pub and Grill. What makes us All-American? Enjoying great food with ice-cold beverages and friendly service. Watching the game on one of our 21 large-screen TVs. With a variety of fun indoor and outdoor entertainment every night of the week. Connecting with friends, dining with family, or catching the game, you'll always have a great time. Coach's All-American Pub and Grill. Great food, fun, and friends.
It looks like these people found out about Shaheen's 47-hour sale to cap off their 47th anniversary sale. Anniversary discounts on top of manufacturer rebates give you savings on top of savings. And now they've added 0% financing for 72 months on most 2017 models. That's 6 years of no interest. You do the math. All during the 47-hour sale from Lansing's #1 Chevy dealer, Shaheen Chevrolet.
We always guarantee the lowest price on any new Chevrolet, or it's free.
You won't get that anywhere else.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for a cool and smooth segment. Brought to you by the 4 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. All right, Team 205. Who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mid-explosion this week? Darian Harris, let's start with you in our play of the week.
Well, the NBA guy in me, even though I can always find something, wants to go with this trade that might be rescinded between the Celtics and the Cavs, but we won't.
It will be?
The way it's looking, it just might be, but we won't go there just yet.
But, that is going to be awkward.
Yeah, it is going to be really awkward, but I'll go with the 10th round from last night that Floyd won in by technical knockout decision. I thought the fight was a spectacle. I thought it was a phenomenal event. I don't even know if you have to go so far to say, sporting event. Tom said he didn't watch it. I talked to Denzel Drone today, former Michigan State defensive end. He's a huge boxing fan and said he didn't watch it for that reason. It was a boxing match, but it was more so a spectacle, and it was a great event. The two fantastic champions, they came together at the end and sung each other's praises, which I thought was really good, genuine sportsmanship. And then now we see what's next for both of them. Floyd says he's done. McGregor, I want to see back in the octagon. Should be exciting.
Was there one punch that turned it, or was it an accumulation of blows?
I think it was an accumulation of blows, and obviously McGregor getting winded at the end by having to go 12 rounds and making it that far.
Al Martin, as Conor McGregor's manager, I think I know where you're going with our game of the week.
Yes, I am going with the fight. I mean, this was the richest combat sporting event of all time. And get this, Floyd won 1,000, 2 1,000. He made $178,000 per second in the fight. That's what that equates to. I mean, but it was a spectacle. I mean, we all knew that, Conor McGregor, a guy who's an MMA fighter, making his professional boxing debut, against the pound-for-pound best fighter, arguably in the last 10 to 15 years. Yeah. We all knew what was going to happen, but it was a spectacle. LeBron was at the game. Steve Harvey's at the game. Draymond Green is at the game. I can't come up with any other sporting event but this one.
There was some speculation that maybe they would work things out and McGregor would win so there could be a rematch. Floyd says, no. I'm going to be 50-0. I'm going to be the first guy to be 50-0. Don't even come with any of that stuff. Yeah. Tom Crawford, what about our team of the week?
I'm going high school football, and I'm going down the road. Jackson Lumen Christi, Division VI champions of last year, go on the road, play Division V champions. Grand Rapids West Catholic, they hold them on 4th down on a 4th and 3, and they win 27-24, a clutch defensive play, and playing tough competition early on that'll help both teams later on. So I tip my hat to Herb Brogan's Titans of Lumen Christi.
Well, if we're going to stay with high school football, then for the player of the week, I'm going to talk about the Okemos Chieftains. And Dom Clerkley, people say, where's Dom Clerkley play? Anywhere he wants. He had 6 rushes in the first half for 100 yards, 2 receptions for 50 yards, threw an 11-yard pass. It was a home game, so he couldn't drive the bus, but did everything else. And Okemos defeats Mason 46
where did this
to
come
nothing.
from?
Yeah, Tom, we were there last year. It was 7-0 Mason.
Yawner. I was like, nodding off. My God.
Biggest win Okemos has had, most lopsided win in 20 years. I think Jack Wallace might have something.
Yeah,
They were 2-7 a year ago. I talked to Dom Clerkley today. He said that they were really couldn't wait to play a game, get that foul taste out of their mouth after being 2-7. Hey, I know a team that was 3-9 last year. I feel kind of the same way,
might
right?
double their win total this year.
Possible.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Great to see high school football, and we're going to be out at DeWitt next week. Grand Ledge DeWitt. Can't wait for that matchup. That was a great game a year ago at Grand Ledge.
Big atmosphere. Two big-time high school programs here in Mid-Michigan.
If you plan to go there next Friday, get there early.
Get there real early. The tailgating will start
next Thursday.
as well.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. That's
Next
right.
Thursday.
Labor Day weekend, Rep.
I want to thank our panel, Team 205, Tom Crawford, my longtime radio partner, Blue Belly Tom. You can catch him Tuesdays and Thursdays on The Drive with Jack. Darian Harris, look for his work in The Athletic Detroit, and you'll be back on The Drive with Jack very soon. And Al Martin from Current Sports, WKAR. We'll see you next Sunday.